Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Patience Andrews. I will be your host today. I am U.S. Army retired and I am the owner of MJK Real Estate Investments. And today's session is going to be about doing business with the state of California. We're thrilled to have Joanne Patty, a business outreach liaison from the Department of General Services, here to share her expertise today. Today, Joanne will walk us through the key opportunities and benefits available to small business and disabled veteran business enterprises when working with the state. After Joanne's presentation, I will be doing a one-on-one sit down with our featured veteran business, Mr. William Osgood, founder of Glory to the Lord Investments Incorporated. And before we dive in, I have a special announcement to make. This year, we're excited to announce the return of DGS Cal eProcure Clinic at the 14th Annual Veteran and Small Business Trade Show. This personalized this personalized hands-on workshop is one-of-a-kind opportunity to receive expert guidance directly from DGS Outreach Business Liaison instructors. You'll get a chance to have your certification profile reviewed, learn how to optimize the state contracting success, and discover new ways to connect with procurement opportunities. Whether you're just in your journey of certification or looking to sharpen your profile with DGS Clinic, it is designed to set you up for success. Make sure to bring your laptop and your Cal eProcure login details to participate. And remember, registration for the trade show is now open. It's free to attend, and early bird pricing is available for exhibitors. Let us know in the chat whether you're tuning in from and if you've attended the trade show of DGS Clinic before. We love to hear from you, and as we dive into this important session. With that, I am pleased to introduce Miss Joanne Patty.
Thank you so much, Patience. That was a wonderful introduction. And yes, everybody, this is just a precursor to the 14th Annual Veteran and Small Business Summit happening on October 16th in Moreno Valley. So like Patience said, we're going to have an in-person DGS clinic there. So I'm really excited for everybody who's able to attend to please attend. So today we're going to be discussing how to money. But that also means a lot of money, hopefully going into the pockets of small businesses and DVBEs. So in this fiscal year, the state of California spent $4.15 billion in small businesses and $878 million with DVBEs. So like I said, there's a lot of money there. So let's get you certified so you can be a part of this dollar amount. So the state of California has 3 certifications. We have our small business certification, also our small business for the purpose of public works, or SBPW certification. And lastly, our disabled veteran business enterprise services, also known as DVBE. So the state of California doesn't have other ones such as women-owned businesses or disadvantaged businesses. It only has these three. And so these are the three that we will be covering and discussing today in today's webinar. So what are some benefits of being certified? Well, first and foremost, you'll be able to participate in that mandatory 25% of all contract dollars going to certified firms. So that's a big one. There's also the 5% bid preference and DVBE incentive that gives your business an advantage when you bid against non-certified businesses. By being certified, you have access to contracts that are exclusive to certified businesses through the small business and DVBE option, which is for contracts between $5,000 and $249,999. If you're not certified, you're automatically excluded from these contract opportunities. And as a small certified business, you get the benefits of the Prompt Payment Act, giving you higher interest penalties for late, undisputed invoice payments. And another benefit is that your certification is actually valid with various cities, counties, and local utilities that accept and recognize our certification. We call them reciprocity partners. And the last benefit is when working with a prime contractor. When you work with a subcontractor, the prime gets the benefits of your certification, making you a very desirable subcontractor. Let's go ahead and take a deeper look into those small business eligibility requirements. So for our very first certification, the SB, or Small Business Certification, you do have to be independently owned and operated. You cannot be dominant in your field of operation, and all that means is there has to be somebody else out there doing what you do. Pretty sure there probably is somewhere out there. Principal office has to be located within the state of California, and owners or officers for a corporation have to be domiciled in California. There is an employee cap of 100 for the small business, and your gross annual receipts, or GARs, have to be less than 18 million with affiliates. GARs is your taxes for the last 3 fiscal years. If you are a manufacturer, 100 or fewer employees, and there's no GARs cap. For our second certification, which is SBPW, Small Business for the Purpose of Public Works, this certification has some of the same eligibility requirements that we just discussed for small business, such as independently owned and operated. You can't be dominant in your field of operation, like small business. Your principal office does have to be located within the state of California, and owners or officers for a corporation do as well have to be domiciled in California, but the employee cap is higher at 200, and then those GARs cap is at 43 million for small business for the purpose of public works. Now, I do want to note that although we have the small business and the small business for a purpose of public works certifications, you want to get one or the other. You don't want to get both because you do get the same benefits. Small business for the purpose of public works is only for public works projects, but if you get the SB, that is for everything, and that does include doing public works projects. So if you meet the employee cap and the GARS cap for the small business, you can go ahead and just apply for that one. You don't need to do two separate SB and SBPW, just more work for you guys. Moving on to the DVBE eligibility requirements. So a disabled veteran is a veteran of the United States Armed Forces with a service-connected disability of at least 10%. Now, this disability status is determined by the federal government, not by us at the state of California. A DVBE is a business that is 51% owned by one or more disabled veterans. And for LLCs, or limited liability companies, the business must be 100% owned by disabled veterans. The disabled veteran owners must live in California, but the owners that are not disabled veterans, they can live anywhere. The daily management and operations of the business must be done by the disabled veteran, although it does not have to be the disabled veteran who actually owns the business. Lastly, the businesses must be headquartered within the United States, so it can't be Mexico, it cannot be Canada, and the business cannot be a branch or a subsidiary of a foreign corporation, a foreign firm, or other foreign-based businesses. Okay, so now we get to the really fun part, and it's a little bit interactive with patients over here, which I'm super excited to have you. Normally it's just me talking. So patients, do you guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, Joanne. So my first question would be, how long is a certification good for?
Excellent question. So your certification in all three of our certifications is good for 2 years. So before it's time to renew, you will receive an email from our certification team, just letting you know a couple of months ahead that it's time to go ahead and renew.
Nice.
Great question.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so how long do I have to be in business to contract with the state?
That too is a really great question. There's no time limit. So some people have gone into business just earlier in the year, for instance, and they do not yet have their GARs or their taxes because they haven't filed them yet, right? They don't have time. Those individuals or those firms can absolutely still get certified. So
Awesome.
there's no time limit.
Okay, awesome. Now, is there an employee cap for the DVBE?
Nope. There is no GARs or employee cap. So these firms can actually grow quite large, as you can imagine.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Okay. Can I pay someone to do this for me?
Yes, you can absolutely pay somebody to do this for you. However, I caution you, there are resources that we're going to share with you at the end, and Southwest Veterans Resource Center who can also help you. And we do this for absolutely no cost. So there's plenty of resources out there to help you directly with this process. Although there are some people out there who will charge you for it to help you, but lots of not for cost options available that we will absolutely share with you.
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anything else, patients?
Um, let's see. How many keywords and codes can I enter?
That's a great question. We're actually going to be getting right to that right after this when we kind of dive into eProcure. Can we
Oh,
wait on that one until we go
yes,
through the next section?
yes, yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. And perfect segue, patients, into eProcure. So you might have seen this in the past before. It's at a lot of our booths. We have big signs that say eProcure. The eProcure is a website, and it is literally California's centralized marketplace. And this is a place where you will be going to register and apply for certification for your small business or DVBE. You can do so many things on eProcure. So like I said, registering and applying for certification here. You can also find solicitations and other contracts. You appear in searches by those buyers from different departments from the state of California in eProcure. You can also post ads seeking a prime contractor, or if you're interested in doing some subcontracting on a project, you're going to be able to do that in eProcure. You can also gain access from public procurement and access public procurement information. And then, of course, like we said before, you can get training and other resources at no cost. Lots of great resources on here. So let's go ahead and we're going to give you a little tour about how to get registered within eProcure. Now, this is a two-step process if you want to get registered and certified. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get you registered in eProcure first. This is what it looks like. The website is www.caleprocure.ca.gov. It says on the top left of this slide. Once you get to that website, it should look like this. This is how you know you're at the right website. You're going to go up to the top right, and you're just going to click Login or Register. From there, you can go ahead and click on New Bidder Registration if this is your first time. And I'm not going to take you through the whole entire slide by slide of what it asks, but pretty much it just asks you about things you already know. There's no trick questions. So it's going to ask you about your personal information, your name and your address, and then a couple of questions about your business. Once you're going through the registration process, you will come up to the supplier diversity information. So the supplier diversity information is in 2022, the Department of General Services began collecting voluntary diversity data information from certified businesses, currently registered, and then any new businesses within the eProcure profile. So collecting voluntary data diversity is really part of California's commitment to support diversity, equity, and inclusion in state of California procurement. We recommend that all businesses, when registering with the state, please complete the diversity data. So the diversity data seen here will enable the evaluation of the effectiveness of the state's existing outreach programs and really provide a better understanding of where targeted outreach efforts need to be established. The goal is to ensure that California's supplier base is really reflective of our diverse state. So just a couple of reminders that this information is absolutely voluntary. So you can go in there, you can change it, you can remove the data at any time directly in your profile in eProcure. And by filling out the supplier diversity information, it does not in any way grant a contracting preference, and in no way does it affect your contracting efforts or any opportunities. The information is publicly displayed on your certification profile if you become certified. So just know that. For additional information about the supplier diversity information and what the state of California is doing, you can go to this website, which is located on the DGS website. Okay, so after you get through the registration portion, then you'll want to go and get your certification. So it's going to redirect you back to eProcure homepage. And again, you can go to the top and click login or register. That is your starting point for both registration and certification. Log into your account. And when you're registered, you're going to come back to the eProcure homepage, and it's going to show you something called your work center. So your work center is really a snapshot of all the information that you just did for the registration in your eProcure account. So you can see things like your user ID, your bid or your supplier ID, your contact information, and your certification information if you've been through this before and you've been certified. There's also buttons where you can go back and you can edit your information. And then the next step is where we're going to be applying for the certification. As you can see here, it is outlined in the red box that says get started. You can either click there or the one below it. Various ways to get to the same spot. So click on get started. And businesses should review the information on this page, including the eligibility requirements that we just went over. But this will also tell you the exact documents that you're going to need when you're applying for registry or certification. And there's even a short video on how to get certified with the state of California. So you're going to click on get certified, apply or reapply. When you're going through your certification process, you're going to come up to something called keywords. So keywords describe goods and services. They allow the buyers from the state of California to find your business. And the really neat thing about keywords is you can go into your profile and you can edit them at any time. You can add to them, you can take some away. But I do want to give you a couple of tips when you're adding keywords to your profile. You really want to do individual words, not sentences. So what I'm saying as an example is concrete, one line. Environmental, one line. Legal, one line. You don't want to write a huge sentence or a paragraph because it will not search well. It'll not work well with the system of eProcure. You can use singular and plural words. You can use common words and make sure that you use your technical jargon as well. You want to use broad words, specific words. Synonyms, so things that mean the same thing. So if you're putting garbage on there, you also want to make sure that you choose trash, waste. What are some other words that mean the same thing? What is that buyer from the state of California going to be typing in the computer for your profile to show up? So you want a very long list of words. Another thing that when we work with firms is you can copy keywords from other competitors. So you can use eProcure to search small businesses or DVBEs who do similar business as you do, and you can see what words they have, and you can put that word on your own profile. All right. The next thing that you will cross as you're getting registered and certified are UNSPSC codes. Now, UNSPSCs are the acronym for the United Nations Standards Products and Services Codes, which are an 8-digit number followed by a written description. And these identify a good or a service, not an industry. Very important. So each code, as you can see here, is really part of a hierarchy with 4 levels. Each level is determined by 2, 4, 6, or 8 digits, with the remaining digits as zeros. So the goods and services identified by the code become more specific in the lower levels of the hierarchy. And understanding the hierarchy really empowers you guys to find relevant related codes. So if your business finds this level 4 code and you guys understand how the hierarchy actually works, then you can go ahead and you can figure out how you should go back and look at the level 3 code or the level 2 code and any other codes that fall under it. So as you can see, level 1 here is very broad. The more the codes go 2, 3, and 4, it gets more and more specific. We recommend you choose any of the codes that accurately describe the products and services that you want to sell to the state of California. There is a difference between the bidder profile, which is the registration profile where you will enter these codes, and your certification profile when you're asked to enter these codes. The first time you do it in your registration or your bidder profile, these are not publicly displayed. So the buyers or anybody that just goes to eProcure can't see them. Only you can see them in the first time you put them in under your account in the registration profile. The reason why those are there is because these are the ones where eProcure will send automatic system notifications to you. Whenever a solicitation comes up for bid, you will be notified if you have the code in your profile. So technically, these can also be aspirational when they're in your bidder, your private account. So maybe I do plumbing, but I'm thinking about doing some landscaping, and I really want to put a code in there so I can get notified, so I can kind of get a market rate of like how often these solicitations are actually coming up. Because I'm thinking about doing it. I'm not actually doing it. I don't want the public to see it, but I want to kind of get a sense. Okay, so that's in your first one, your registration profile. When you're asked again in your certification profile to put the United Nations Standards Products and Services codes into your profile, these ones are publicly displayed. So that means that the buyers can technically use these codes and search for your business. So the ones on your certification profile need to be accurate to the products and services that you are currently trying to sell to the state of California, as they are publicly viewed. All right, so just my quick tips and tricks on that one. Let's go ahead and throw it back over to Patience and see if she's got any questions for me.
Thank you so much, Joanne. That information is just so very helpful, and we appreciate you giving us this information. So now I can go back into the question of how many keywords and codes can I enter?
So great question. So that is definitely limited. I have not found the end of how many keywords or codes that you can put in there yet. So you can put so many, and we absolutely advise for you to put a lot of them. So you're driving down the road and you think about a product or service that you do, write it down so you can go back in and populate your account with that.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and so how long does the certification take?
It really depends on the person. So actually physically doing the registration and the certification portion, physically, it really depends on you. So if you've read through the eligibility requirements and the documents that you need to have ready, you have them uploaded, you're just going to add them as attachments as you're going through. It'll be really quick. It could take maybe like an hour. We did a certification webinar one time or an in-person one, and people were able to do it during that time. Other people, you might need to pause it, go get that document, upload it and put it in. So naturally, it'll take a little bit longer. So it really depends on the person and your capability in doing it, right?
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's all I have for that particular section.
Perfect. Are we ready to move on?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's dig in. You guys heard me talking about finding contracting opportunities within eProcure. So contract opportunities are also called solicitations, and they can all be accessed on eProcure. So I'm going to show you how to find those. So you guys should be familiar with this page. It's the homepage of caliprocure.ca.gov. And of course, you're going to want to log into your account that you've established. So you go up to the top, you click login and register. It'll take you to this page, and you go ahead and it's bold. They want you to see it. It's not hidden anywhere. It's right there. Start search. These are current, right now contracts, okay? So after you click on start search, it'll take you to this page. As you can see here, you can go ahead and put in a keyword under event name. When it says event name, that just means one of your keywords. So you put a keyword in there, or you can go to advanced search criteria, and you can search by UNNSPSC code, okay? You can search by service area. Maybe right now you're only capable of doing or servicing Northern California or a specific county. You can narrow the search parameters down to a specific county if that's only what you're serving, or a contract license type. After you do put your search parameters in here, it'll bring up a list of results that looks like this. All right, so these are the solicitations that are currently actively being advertised. So the neat thing about this is you can actually click on the middle column under event name to get additional information about one of these specific solicitations. They're actually hyperlinks. So if you click on one of the hyperlinks, it'll take you to the event details page. So this has amazing information on it. So this has obviously the department from which it's coming from. This example is from the Department of Transportation. Start date and the end date of when the bid must be submitted. And it also has a time. So make sure you get in by that timestamp. If it is over a minute late, it could not be counted. I would hate for you to go through all this work for it not to be counted. It also has the contact information. This person you want to contact for any questions you have about this specific solicitation, not the person you're going to want to do marketing to. And you'll also notice the 3 blue buttons at the very top of the page, View Event Package. That's where you're going to click, and I'll have this statement of work. And I'll have all those juicy documents. It's the meat and potatoes of this, right? Where you can go in there, you can look at any insurance requirements or anything like that. And then this is also the place where you can post a vendor ad or view vendor ads. So maybe maybe me as a small business, I don't have the capacity right now since I'm starting out to do this huge project, but I could do a small portion of it. So I can go ahead and I can post a vendor ad saying I'm interested in doing subcontracting on this project, and I'm looking for a prime contractor to work with, or vice versa, right? Maybe I can take on the whole project, but I do need some DVBEs or SBs to partner with, then I can post an ad here as well. Okay, you can also look at any current or existing vendor ads as well. All right, with that, before we get to past purchases, Patience, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I have one question for you.
Great.
For businesses new to eProcure, what are the top 3 things they should focus on after registering to ensure success?
That's great. So definitely keeping your profile up to date. That means if anything changes, you want to let our certification team know. Definitely that'll keep your certification active. And if there's any changes, we need to instruct you on what to do. You want to develop your capability statement when you're certified. That is really important. And after you develop your capability statement, you want to reach out to advocates and start doing some market research, which is what we're going to go over right now when you research past purchases. So I think that's 3 things.
Yep, that's it. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Patience. That was great question. All right, segue right on into researching past purchases. So you research past purchases within eProcure as well. And like I just said, why do you look at past purchases? Well, you do it to use to conduct market research. And it includes state and non-state dollars. And it is public facing, so you don't have to be logged into eProcure in order to see this information. Anybody from the public can go to eProcure and click on this database to look at past purchases. And it is really important, and I'm going to show you in a second, because you really want to see what departments from the state of California are already buying the same products and services that you plan to sell. So you can see what department for how much, what's the quantity, and who your potential competitors or your potential partners might be. So in eProcure, to find past purchases, in order to do some market research, you're going to go to the main page. You're all familiar with it now. Click Find Public Procurement Information, and it'll bring this page up where you can then click the link for Skippers. That is State Contracting and Procurement Registration System. We like to say Skippers. We love our acronyms. It's the second bullet point right there. When you click on there, it's going to direct you to the Fiscal Skipper search. And just like before on the current contracts, this search, whenever it says description, that just means one of your keywords. You're going to change the keyword, you're going to get different search results. My pro tip is put a transaction start and end date. I normally, when I search past purchases, just do the last year. It's a huge database and it will take a long time if you do not put a transaction date there. So on the left is the department name. This is the department buying something that correlates that descriptive word that you put in here. Brief description, start date and end date, they're on the past. And then it has the grand total. And it also has the supplier's name. Those are your potential competitors or partners. It'll also tell you if they are a certified firm or not. All right, we went over that. And then before I get to my last section on advocates, do you have any questions, Patience?
Yes, one question about the advocates. What does the advocate do for my business?
Absolutely. So the advocates are state employees who are going to be working in purchasing and procurement. You can actually get there right now. They could be a manager, they could be an analyst, they have different specific titles, but they are actually required for state of California departments to spend at least $100,000 or more a year. And essentially, advocates are the go-between between the buyer and you, the small business or DVBE, to help you and your small business get more involved with their department's contracting efforts in order to meet that 25% mandate of all contract dollars going into the pockets of small businesses and 3% with DVBEs. So technically, this is your audience for the state of California.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne.
Any other questions?
Nope, that's it for that one.
But I'm going to keep rolling on with the advocates.
Okay.
Like we said, they help your business get certified and contract with their specific state of California department. They also assist you in helping with prompt payment, making sure that certified businesses are paid 45 days after an on-time undisputed invoice. And they also help their buyers and their departments seek out new certified businesses. So this is how you're going to be able to find a list of those advocates, your target market researching person. eProcure, it's where it's at. You guys are experts at this point. The home screen, find training and resources on the bottom right. Click there. It'll bring you to this page. Lots of amazing information on this page. But for time's purposes, you scroll all the way down to research and marketing, because that's what you're doing. You're doing your market research. and it says contact a small business and DVBE advocate. Click on that. It'll redirect you to this page. Make sure your pop-ups are on. It'll come up as a pop-up when you click on download the advocate directory, okay? Make sure you have capability because this also pops up in an Excel spreadsheet, okay? After you click on that, it's going to look like this. I will quickly go over it. Left-hand side, those are the departments from the state of California. So you looked at your past purchases, and you know that Department of General Services is buying what you're selling. You need to go to the advocate directory, which is this, and you need to find that department to see who from the Department of General Services you need to reach out to market your company to. See, it's all coming full circle now, right, patients? So you go to Department of General Services, you scroll to the right, it's going to give you the name, the phone number, and the email for you to contact this specific advocate to market yourself. Let them know that you are a brand new small business and you're ready to do business with them. This is also the person where you want to include your capability statement. Patients, any questions for me on that one?
Yes, the last question I have is, do I determine if my business is in compliance for CUF? Yeah, cuff.
Great question. Before I get to that, are there any other ones, or I'm going to go on to cuff right now then?
No other questions. Yeah.
Okay. So like I said in the beginning, we were going to kind of cover cuff. Cuff is known as commercially useful function. And this really applies to all small businesses and all disabled veteran business enterprise services who are bidding and participating in the contract. Regardless of the procurement approach or any payments methods that have been used, it's literally the rules and regulations to go along with having a state of California contract, okay? So you know that you perform cuff if your business is executing a distinct element of the work, you're performing, you're managing, and you're supervising the work. You're negotiating the price, you're determining the quantity and the quality and the ordering, and you're installing and you're making payments, doing what you're supposed to do, and then not subcontracting a portion of the work that is greater than expected by industry standards as well. You know that your business does not perform cuff if there's an extra participant in the transaction, in the contract or project through which funds are passed in order to maintain the appearance of an SB or DVBE participation. So let's say I tell patients, hey, patients, do you want to get $1,000 a month? And she's like, sure, what do I got to do? And I'm like, you don't got to do anything. I just need you to say, if anybody asks, that you're like running this company, you're the 51% DVBE. But really, you're not doing anything. I'll do it all. I'm just going to pay you out. That's probably illegal. Probably do not want to do that. If that was found out that you're being used, that you're using a disabled veteran who is not doing anything with the company and they have nothing to do with it, you could be reported for a violation of cuff. Okay, one example. So if you're no longer being used to provide the goods or services listed, you're not doing what you said you were going to do in the beginning, that could be a violation either as well. So my suggestions are ask questions early on, be upfront and honest. If anything changes, reach out to our certification and let them know that something has changed in your certification so that you're just on top of it, right? That's the main thing. You just want to make sure that you meet all the requirements of every contract and procurement. So definitely read through. And if you have questions, ask early on, like I said, and respond to all requests for cuff information from state officials throughout the process, including explaining the ordering, invoicing, payment, and return processing as appropriate. Okay. So last but not least, these are some resources that I did mention in the beginning. Small business development centers, they're up and down the coast of California. I definitely recommend that if you have not already and you are starting a new business or thinking about doing government contracting, that you reach out to any of these. SBDC, you can type in small business development centers plus your city in Google and it'll pop up the nearest one. Also, Apex Accelerators are our partners with the state of California. They work normally with more established businesses, and they are experts in government contracting. They have lots of events that you can attend to do some networking. And SCORE. SCORE offers business mentorship, as well as the Southwest Veterans Resource Center. We partner with them throughout the year, and they've been a longstanding partner with Department of General Services, where we work together on opportunities like this. And then also the one coming up in October that we hope that you can join us at, to really try to bring you new and exciting information about state of California procurement and how you and your small business can be more actively involved in the contracting goals with the state. So like I said before, it was a high-level introduction to SB and DVBE programs, certification eligibility. You guys are experts at Cali Procure by now. You guys have seen that website 1,000 times. And then commercially useful function, laws and regulations that go along with having a state contract, right? We always offer for free, one-on-one virtual appointments. You can meet with me, you can meet with 6 of my other colleagues at no charge. We love meeting with people. Schedule your appointment, grab your phone, take a picture of this QR code. You can always email me as well. Right here, if I went through that too quick, I do want to let my colleague over here speak. So I'm kind of getting through this. But I also want to thank Patience for her generosity, and she's been an excellent host for me today. She had some wonderful questions. And Patience, thank you for your service.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Thank you so much for sharing such valuable information about working with the state of California. It's clear that these certifications offer incredible opportunities for small and disabled veteran businesses to thrive. For everyone watching, don't forget to visit Cali Procure to start your certification journey. Is that all you have, Joanne?
That's me. I'm happy to hand it over to William, if that's okay with you, Patience.
Well, up next, I'm excited to introduce a special guest for our featured segment highlighting one of our newest Opt for Vets Life members. This segment showcases a veteran-owned business making a meaningful impact in their industry. Today, we're honored to welcome Mr. William Osgood, the visionary founder of Glory to the Lord Investments Incorporated, also known as Supply Chain Management and SCM Consultant. Welcome, William. We're looking forward to hearing about your business.
Oh, terrific, Patience. Thank you. And thank you, Joanne. That was a good introduction. It was a good reminder of everything that we need to do if we want to do business with the state of California. So that was very good. And those were good questions too, Patience. Appreciate that. The one that we still want to hear that we could ask Joanne again when she comes back would be the one where how many codes do you really want to put down? I think that's always a stumbling block because there's the one where you could put too many and then you confuse people, or you could have not enough and miss something. Would you like to answer that now? May I ask you that question?
Yeah, so you can absolutely put as many as you want to. There's no like actual limit, but you do want to make sure that they accurately identify the products and services which you can sell to the state when you're under public profile. You don't want to just elude anybody. You don't want to have things that you actually don't do, because you don't want the advocates to contact you and you're like, oh, I don't actually sell doorknobs. And don't mislead anybody is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that's where it gets a little precarious, right? Because some of the codes will go into areas that you may not actually do, but you may do a part of one code. So
that's right.
I think that's where you were really spot on with the keywords, and I would agree. The keywords are a necessity, and the more specific you can be, and the more tailored you can be. I think your example of trash and garbage was perfect. Yeah. Because they're going to look for different keywords. So anyway, I want to say thank you. That was very good.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I Patience had a great question. It was a good answer. So I want to thank you for the privilege of being on with you, Joanne, and thank you, Patients and Ops for Vets, for having me. And I too want to put in a plug for the Southwest Veterans Summit coming up this fall, and those are good conferences. We've been to many of them. We've exhibited at several of them. And that's a great chance to meet some of the state agencies that are present, like DGS. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and I think it's really important, and then Patients, maybe at the last 2 minutes, whenever, if you want to cue me, I would like to talk a little bit about the company, but I did want to give a couple of what I call golden nuggets to go alongside with what Joanne Patty was talking about from the Department of General Services. So whatever certification that you may have as a company, as a business owner, it is really important to understand that the certification itself is not the it's nothing more than a door opener. That nobody is obligated to give you a contract because you got certified. I've seen that happen in the federal government several times. A company will get an 8A certification, for example, and they will assume that because they got the 8A certification, that the federal government is obligated to do business with them. Well, no, they're not. But what the 8A certification does, just like the small business and DVBE at the state of California level, is it puts you in position to meet the people that can create awards for your company and or give you the opportunity to compete for those awards. One of the things that our company specializes in is helping companies to understand what certifications are applicable and the most appropriate for the market that they want to pursue. And I think that's another important golden nugget, if you will, is to really identify the markets where your company can be most effective. For some companies, it might be school districts. For others, it might be utilities. For others, it might be water districts. For others, it might be the state of California. It may be a combination thereof as you grow. And for others, it may be the federal government. And the federal government, like the state of California, is sometimes and often will offer you opportunities to get into a contract that you may not get any other place. And a lot of times they'll do that through subcontracting, but they may also use a program called at the federal government level, called the Set Aside Program. So our firm is a service disabled veteran owned small business. We're also a DVBE firm, and which is Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise with the state of California. And that reciprocity that Joanne spoke about is applicable and allows us to compete at the utility level, the school district level, the water district level, and the state of California, all in one. So that's that concept or that use of reciprocity, and it's very helpful. And if you happen to be, say, like in the county of Los Angeles, you can actually use your local small business or your DVBE, and that you will receive a 15% bid preference on the work that you're competing for. So just a quick example, you bid 114,999 and the lowest bid is 100,000 even, so just under that 15% threshold. You would win that bid and you would be awarded a contract for $114,999, and that's a tremendous opportunity at the County of Los Angeles level, and other preference programs are out there as well. One of the other things I think is really great, if you qualify for the 8A, which is a socioeconomic certification through the Small Business Administration, the 8A program has a program called the Set Aside Program. And you and your business specialist from the SBA can request and pursue what are called sole source contracts up to $4 million. And the advantage there is if you can demonstrate what I call capability, capacity, credibility, and past performance, 3CP squared, you can position yourself to request from that contracting officer the sole source set aside. And that is a non-competitive negotiable contract. It is a phenomenal opportunity to jump into the federal government in terms of contracting and position yourself to really grow your business. That is a 9-year program, and it's an exceptional program, and it's still very, very popular, if you will. But the federal government uses it all throughout their various departments and agencies. DoD uses it quite frequently and has long-term contracts for 8A firms. So it's something you may want to consider, or at the end of this, I'll provide some contact information. You could call our office and we'd be happy to explain it a little more. The last thing I wanted to address is something that I think is really special, and that's, since we're all primarily targeting are all veterans and veteran business owners, we are eligible to be in that set-aside program for the Department of Veterans Affairs. That is at the federal government level. And under the act that said that veterans would be first, it's called the Veterans First Act, the VA is obligated and actually supported by the Supreme Court in a decision called Kingdomware. They are obligated to do business with veteran businesses if the VA, any department or any of the three departments of the VA, the Veterans Benefit Administration, the Veterans Cemetery Administration, and the Veterans Health Administration, if any of those three can find 2 or more companies that can perform the scope of work by which they are going to be issuing a contract for, then they must, by law now, supported by an 8-0 decision in Kingdomware, set that aside for service-disabled vets or veteran-owned small businesses. And that is a terrific way to enter into the federal government system for contracting. And that's the story I wanted to tell. So back in 2008 and 2009, we were just a general consulting coaching firm. We had clients around the country, and we had one international client in England. And we were just helping companies build business processes. And then everybody knows what happened in 2008 and 9. The bottom dropped out of the economy, and it affected the discretionary spend for businesses, and it sent our revenue down to nothing. We literally went almost out of business and threatened with going out of business. And for the first time in my business career, I had to lay off my entire staff. It wasn't fun. But we did rebound, and the rebound that we did was to enter into the federal government system, and that was a lifesaver for us. We started helping other businesses get involved in the federal government system, and then about 2019 was a game changer for us. I had always heard about what is called a joint venture, but I had always not been really open to that idea. And a joint venture is a formal legal arrangement with another company, and or maybe more than one company. But it's like being married. You literally have an obligation with that company, and you are suspect and subject to all of the liabilities incurred by that joint venture, which is a legal entity. But it got us into cemetery work for the Veteran Cemetery Administration, called the National Cemetery Administration, NCA. And we started doing work at local cemeteries in Los Angeles, California. And we landed a fairly large contract, and then learned the hard way of how difficult it is to do work for the federal government. It was a great experience. We learned a lot. We lost a lot of money on our first job. But what that taught us was how to prepare for more. And sure enough, we pursued more and then won 2/3 of the country for landscaping and tree trimming around the national cemeteries for the Veterans Administration. That was the game changer. And so what we have done as a result of that now is we have formed another company called Supply Chain Management, where we'll now do landscaping and grounds maintenance work for both the Department of Defense and the National Cemetery Administration, basically west of the Mississippi, although we have done some work on the other side of the Mississippi. We're a California-based company. And the opportunity there is to work with veterans around the country and veteran businesses around the country. So we've done multiple partnerships around the country that have been very beneficial for us and for the government, because the government gets to do its proverbial check the box when they're using veteran-owned businesses, or if we subcontract to an 8A firm or another small business or a woman-owned business. That really gives them the opportunity to say, we are really using small businesses the way the Small Business Act intended it to be used. So I think the moral to the story is you never really know what's on the other side of that fence until you pursue it. And I was afraid for those almost 10 years to enter into a joint venture, but the joint venture changed our company forever. And it was a move I look back on. I've really enjoyed that work. We're finishing our first contract we ever got on the joint venture. We still have 2 more contracts that we won right before the joint venture expired that will go another 3.5 years roughly. Maybe 3 years. I'd have to actually look at the contract dates. But once you're into a contract, under a certification or under an agreement like a joint venture or many other types of arrangements that you can do to pursue contracts, you are allowed to another great example is if you grow and your business goes beyond the size standard. If you won that contract while you were still a small business, you can execute it throughout the life of the contract. And that is really nice in contracts that are called base plus 4, or sometimes I've seen them as long as base plus 9, 10-year contracts. Really sweet opportunities. If you have any interest in learning more about that or talking to us, you could go to our website, www.scm Supply Chain Management, SCM Source, SOURCE.com, and schedule an appointment with one of our consultants, and they'd be happy to talk to you. And we have helped companies around the country to penetrate the federal government and to be able to win contracts that help them build their business. So I really appreciate the opportunity. It's been a joy. I've known Al for, oh gosh, I want to say the better part of maybe 15, 16 years now. And he is a true veteran advocate and a true veteran supporter. And it's been a pleasure to not only know Ops for Vets and the Southwest Veteran Alliance, but also be a part of it. Thank you, Patience.
Awesome, William. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing more about your business and the great work that you're doing. We really appreciate you giving us that information. And yes, Al is a great resource and advocate. We appreciate Al, and thank you again so much. And before we wrap up, I'd like to highlight again the exciting opportunity happening at the 14th Annual Veteran and Small Business Trade Show coming in the fall, the return of the eProcure Clinic, the personalized workshop hosted by DGS Outreach Business Liaison Instructors offers one-on-one guidance to help you review your certification profile, ensure it's optimized for success, and find the contracting opportunities with the state of California. So don't miss this chance to work directly with the experts in your business up for success. Registration is now open for the trade show, and early bird pricing again is available for exhibitors. Attendance is completely free for attendees, and secure your spot today. Additionally, we invite you to join the Ops for Vets community through our lifetime membership program. As a member, you'll gain access to professional development opportunities and connect with colleagues and experts and companies with buying power. Sign up today at opsforvets.com/register. We will even feature you in one of the vets episodes. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. William. Thank you, Joanne. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. And thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.